Andy, firstly, thanks for taking the time to sit down and reflect on what has been a successful 2024 for the Academy and to look ahead to what is going to be extremely exciting 2025. When we look back at the past 12 months, just how have you assessed the general progress of the Academy as a whole?
It's been an incredible 16 months. If you think back to August 2023, the club instigated that they wanted to set up an EFL academy after being promoted back to the Football League, which was great news for the local area, Wrexham and North Wales, another club that can produce and develop players. And I think since that time, if you look back at what we've achieved, setting up an EFL Category 4 academy, which operated at the start with an under-18 youth team. That were the rules. You're only allowed to have an under-18 team. And employing some very experienced staff. So we went from having players come from a college programme and credit to the people who kept the Centre of Excellence and the football programme going over the years whilst the club are out of the league. I think it's really important to highlight that for those young people to play football. So we were fortunate to be awarded a provisional Category 4 licence, and it's just been an upward trajectory since then. Really exciting, in line with the club's plans and ambitions of been successful. We've set the academy up. We've passed multiple audits with the EPPP, so the Elite Player Performance Plan. We're mandated. We have rules we have to meet. So we have standards we have to meet. The safe to operate, the compliance are all integral parts. You can't just say we want an academy. There you go. You've got to meet the staffing criteria, meet all of the relevant rules and regulations that the EFL and the Elite Player Performance Plan ask you to have. And the staff we brought in from the outset has been a real show of intent to say, we're setting this up, the club are investing in it, and we're going to do it right. So when we have audits from EFL, when we have audits from the EPPP and Bernardo's and Health and Safety and LFE and League Education, and we're getting the feedback that we get, as an academy manager, I'm absolutely delighted. And we've built on that. So we've built on that further by applying for Category 3, which then allows us to run an academy for under-9s all the way through to under-18s. So Category 4 under-18s only, Category 3, 9s to 18s, which allows us to recruit and develop the best players in the local area, which is important, really important to create that pathway. You're quite limited if you've only got an under-18 team. You're almost relying on finding a hidden gem, which could be out there, but normally at that age, boys are in clubs already. So at under-18s, you're relying on sometimes the boys who have been released from other clubs, which isn't always easy. It's a very competitive market at that age group. But the under-9s and the pre-academy development centres, that allows us to recruit early, to develop the Wrexham way. And first and foremost, we want to recruit players with potential. And that Category 3 licence is integral to us achieving that. So, say in 16 months, Cat 4 licence, successful, Cat 3 licence. We're due an audit. We've also invested into a multi-million-pound facility at Darland High. So it's been an incredible journey, incredible 16 months. And I think it's really important to take stock that we've gone from no academy and no staff to a Cat 4 academy with 12 staff to now sitting here today as a Cat 3 academy manager. And we've got 60 staff, 24 full-time, 30 part-time. We're also investing in interns and our volunteers to upskill the workforce as well as the players. We've had our European tour. We've had our FA Youth Cup run, third round proper for the first time in, I think, 15 years. So on and off the field, I'm really delighted at the progress we've made, and that's down to good people first and foremost. We need really good people, and we've got that in the building. And then to top it all off, we're here to produce footballers. The success rate of becoming a footballer is really low in football, as we know. But we've set an academy model and programme that puts the player at the heart of everything. So we focus on developing outstanding people, outstanding players and outstanding futures. So if we get a player who comes through our system and plays for Phil in the first team, absolutely amazing. That's huge success. But equally, there'll be a lot of boys who come through the system who don't want to play first team football. So are we developing those young people as well-rounded, good, honest, hard-working individuals. And I think that's what we do that very well. We have education programs and life skills programs, play care programs. So the development around the person as well as the player is absolutely massive. And then that futures, the outstanding futures piece. Many would deem success playing for the first team, and absolutely we want to produce players for Wrexham's first team in the local area. But outstanding futures also means that if the journey comes to an end at some time with Wrexham, it might be going to another club, it might be a higher league club, it might be a lower league club, it might be out of football altogether. And at that stage, those futures, those pathways are all around university, different careers, maybe he's going to the USA for a scholarship or Canada. So there's loads of opportunities where we put the person first and foremost, almost before the player, because we feel duty bound and it's an integral part of the programme. There's a misconception in football and academy football that we just turn up, we play football, but it's so much more complex than that. And if I was to sit here now and say we have full-time specialist coaches at the professional development phase, we have full-time league coaches in the youth development phase, full-time league coaches at foundation phase, and then on top of that, we've got full-time head of education, full-time play care, full-time sports science, full-time medical, full-time recruitment, full-time sports science. A real show of intent, a real investment from the club. But our aims and objectives aren't to produce a team. We're not here to develop a team that goes and wins cups. Obviously at youth cup level, we want to go and compete and get as far as we can. But we're here first and foremost to develop individuals, and that support mechanism, the multidisciplinary team around the player, the people I've spoken about there, who we've employed and put in place, are integral to that future development of our young people.
And when we look back at the importance of that Category 3 status, it was mentioned when the plans were first in place to bring the academy about that it was a key importance to be able to nurture the brightest young talents that North Wales has to offer. How important can that status be in allowing you to then go and do that?
Category 3 status and obviously aspirational long-term Category 2 is so important to the academy. So if we look at the first team, Phil and the investment for the owners is incredible, and they're on a crest of a wave, and that trajectory is amazing to see, but it's amazing to be part of as well. But I think if you look at long-term sustainability, and you look at the really successful clubs and the really successful academies, they've produced players that have gone to play first-team football and either saved their club millions or they've made their club millions. And I think that's where we firmly sit as an academy, as a club. This isn't a short-term project, it very much is a long-term project. So if we look at our current under-9s, it would be amazing to see an under-9 come all the way through our system, get to under-18s, professional football, but you're looking at an 8 to 10 year journey there. So we've got to be realistic. It is a long-term project and player development. And I've been fortunate to work in player development, child development for over 25 years. And one thing that is very clear is it's nuanced, it's different. Every individual child has different needs, and producing an elite footballer doesn't happen overnight. It is a long-term project, and that's why our recruitment team and our academy management team are putting strategies and things in place where we know what the long term is. It's our under-9 programme onwards. But the short term, the immediate short term is that under-18 group, who are the best players in the local area, because there are players who do get missed, and it's our job to find those players, but also the boys we've got in the system to really develop. And the guys in the programme, Nick Chadwick and the team of coaches, and have done a fantastic job in really taking those boys forward and develop them as they have. And in the medium term, it's finding the best 12, 13-year-olds, because we don't want to just have to wait for 9 years to find players. We've got to really try, especially with a club like Wrexham, there's a high expectation, and rightly so. And I think none of our staff, myself included, want to wait 9 years to see a player come through. Although that really does excite me, I'll be honest, to see a player come through our own system really excites me. But we're all driven and really focused on developing players right now for filling the first team, and that isn't an easy task. National League promotion, League Two promotion, currently competing for League One. And if you get to the Championship, that gap grows and grows. It's almost easier to produce a player to play in the National League, albeit a good standard, than it is to produce a player to play in the Championship. So our strategy and focus 16 months ago has become so much harder because of the progress of the first team, which is a great problem to have.
And when we think about the academy and developing the academy as a whole, while it is a long-term project and it may take 9-10 years to see someone come all the way through the ranks from the very start of this project, how important is the success of players in the last year's under-18s team getting professional contracts, Aaron James, Harry Ash having first-team involvement? How important is it to see that progression and that journey as a young player looking ahead and aspiring to where they currently are and beyond?
Aspiration is a must-have. Players have to aspire to want to be the best, and say football is a really tough industry to break through in, so they've got to have the aspiration, but we also need to provide the inspiration. And I think if you look at Max Cleworth as an example, he's gone on in great strides the last 2 or 3 years. Then Aaron James has kicked on in this season, doing well. Harry Ashfield, Callum Edwards, James Rainbird, Harry Dean, we've awarded professional contracts to, which is great success for, first and foremost, those boys and their families, but also the academy. And to think, I was looking back in pre-season, we had some of those boys, I think it was Callum and Harry out with the TST tournament and the US tour. Unbelievable experiences for those boys. So when we talk to parents, when we have players coming to visit us or have trials and we're showing them what we're all about, our core values, our strategy, where we want to be in the future, those stories are massively important. And they actually can see there is a pathway, albeit a tough one. There is a pathway. We have a reserve side, which our staff are heavily involved in. Our young players are heavily involved in the reserve side, where the manager's there, he's watching, he's supporting, his staff are involved, the first team players are involved. And then the first team, I say it's a big jump, but from the outside looking in, or certainly the inside, you can see there is a pathway forming. And I think we mustn't forget we're 16 months into our overall journey, but we're only 6 months into our journey as a Category 3 club. And we've got boys going to the TST tour. We've got boys going on their first team tour. We've been to a European tour in Cadiz as an under-18 team. Exclusive use of facilities, exclusive use of this amazing arena in the summer. The life experiences, and then we're talking just this week about the tours for our younger players, our foundation phase, our youth development phase. How do we prepare, support the person? Because at some point, the boys are going to have to travel. They're going to have overnight stays. So rather than come through the system and get to 18 and go to the first team and all of a sudden, right, you've got to travel, you've got to stay overnight. We're preparing those young people, our children, for all those eventualities. But amazing life experiences to go away with your friends, your teammates, the support staff. And we've gone another level again. We've introduced host families because we recognise that first and foremost, we want the best players in Wrexham and North Wales being part of Wrexham Football Club. That's our priority. But we recognise as well our short-term strategy and objectives, that there might be players in literally 50, 60 mile away across the border or in different parts of North Wales who do need host families. So we're trying to make sure we put mechanisms in place where we support those players who do need to travel. So like I say, the host families, the player care, education and safeguarding are a huge part of our academy.
Off the pitch, you mentioned it previously, the multi-million-pound facility at Darland. How integral is that going to be to the academy's strategy moving forward?
Without an academy facility, we couldn't function as a Cat 3 academy. So the Elite Player Performance Plan, the EPPP, the YDR rules are very clear. You've got to have a facility which has grass pitches, which has access to a 3G, which we'll continue to use at Colliers Park, changing rooms, medical rooms, classrooms, offices, etc. You've got a project where you've got, say, a facility which needs to cater for 60 plus staff, parent rooms, meeting rooms. So without the project at Darland High, without the key stakeholders being involved, we wouldn't have been able to apply for a Category 3 licence. And I think that lays a real solid foundation for the years to come, because it gives us a platform, and I class this as a foundation in terms of we've built the foundation of the house, we've set the academy up, we've got the staffing structure, we've got the facility. We now need to build, grow, develop players, develop staff. But certainly without Darwin, without a facility, we wouldn't have an academy. A Cat 3 and above, for sure.
Just finally, Andy, looking ahead to the year and what there is in store for the academy, what would a successful 2025 look like?
We always strive to be better, so we meet regularly as a staff. And I think I've got to, at this point, initially thank the board, the support from the board in setting a new academy up, investing in the staffing structure that we have, investing in a facility, knowing that the return on investment isn't going to be instant. I think it's a real big plus and a real big thank you from myself on behalf of the whole academy. And I also think we've got a group of staff. We always talk about having good people. You can have the best qualifications and the best experience. We've got to be a good person and all rowing in the same direction. And in our vision of developing outstanding players, outstanding people, outstanding futures, you've got to have the staff in the building to drive that. And I think we've recruited very well. And we've got a group of people now in the building who are really driven towards supporting individuals, supporting children to become the best version of themselves. And that's either for Wrexham or for other careers, dual careers. But actually, we've got a group of people who aren't settling for second best. We want to be the best academy in the area. We want to attract the best players. We want to attract the best staff. And I don't apologise for saying that, because when you're part of Wrexham Football Club and the expectations and the pressures which are good to have are all about excellence and being elite and being the best, we've got to aspire to be the same, and we'll continue to do that. Development of players, we're always looking at how do we develop players. So if we can say a player needs to improve their first touch under pressure, okay, what are we doing? If we say with a coaching team, if we're saying a player needs some support physically, what are the sports science team doing? We don't want players in the medical room, we don't want them injured, so what are the medical team doing to prevent rather than cure? The education piece is huge for me personally, because unless you become an absolute superstar, you're going to have a plan B. So what are the education outcomes? We know some professional footballers who have currently got good careers are still studying at the same time, doing degrees in media and sporting directors courses. So we've got a real duty of care to support the boys holistically, psychologically, but also education. And that's so our head of education, Kieran, she's full-time now, and Kieran will go around the primary school. Kieran will check in with the heads of year at the secondary schools on the progress the boys are making. So football and education go hand in hand, and we need to support that. And certainly the infrastructure we have now will do so. And then we've got Darwin. So let's say Darwin's been getting developed for the last 6-8 months now, and it's not come without its challenges in terms of pitch design, in terms of plan permission, etc. We've overcome those challenges, and I'm really proud of all the staff and the club who've supported that. But we need to really consolidate now and build and grow and make that the best environment absolutely possible. And who knows? I personally feel we should be aspiring for a Category 2 academy in the coming years with an under-21 side. And those are all aspirations, but there's no doubt about it, within this club, aspirations can become reality. And I think it's important that we push those boundaries and try to create the best structure, the best infrastructure, the best opportunity for our young children, our young people. So exciting. 2025 is an exciting one. It's started in earnest already. Lots going on, lots to do. But we need to keep progressing. We cannot stand still. It's a really exciting time.
Once again, Andy, thank you very much for taking the time, and all the best to you and the academy for the upcoming year.
Thank you very much.